university, you'd expect the dean to say party hard after
Okay.
giving an intro speech. This guy's at the end says party hard, and it was like a drop mic moment. Mic drop moment, sorry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 5th episode of Hear the Herd. We're the herd, and you're hearing us. This is our first episode of 2022. Today, we're so excited to have Aman Bukhari, a fellow UTC alumni and a corporate affairs specialist at Samsung. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome, and it's great to have you on the show.
So, this is the question to introduce myself. Who am I? As Akhil rightfully mentioned, my name is Aman Bukhari, and I am an alumni from UFT Scarborough campus. I did a bachelor's for management and international business program, and I got a certificate in marketing. I've done my work terms at Scotiabank, Rico, and just recently, right before graduating at Samsung, and now I'm working with them full time as well in the role of corporate affairs specialist.
And for those who don't know, like me and Aman have met before at the co-op networking event. So he's been helping out a lot, like the students here a lot, and helped even me get a co-op job. So it's really nice to have you here as well. So I know you've got the good tips coming for everyone.
Oh yeah, I'll try my best. It's always a pleasure to do things like this, attend all the events, and just you've been in the spot like that yourself, and then you're so curious and you're so lost at times as well. So it's a pleasure to be on the other side and try to help out wherever I can.
Now you're helping just marketing students in general. So what made you realize marketing is the right path for you? And what's some advice that you can give to students who are still deciding what stream of business they want to be in?
Well, Akhil, you're brown. I'm brown. I'm sure a lot of people from UTSC who are not just brown, but a lot of people in general, because obviously people who go into UFT have a career or a future planned ahead. And a lot of us, and I mean a lot of us, have that sort of look down from their parents that they have to do something with their life. They're like, we're paying for your tuition. And even if they're not, you yourself are like, you want to do something. So mainly what people end up doing is that they pursue a career in either medicine. So a lot of people, that's why life sciences has so many students. If not that, then people go towards engineering and the most common streams which are known to pay well. I don't know why I did that because they actually do pay well, but the reason is because your chances of getting in it are very, very low, right? So the chances of you spending that much money and then actually getting returns on your investment are low. Well, I was young, and ever since I was young, I love public speaking. I've been doing debates, I've been doing public speeches, speaking in front of crowds of hundreds, starting clubs of our own, joining clubs, and participating in a variety of sports and so many other things. Like I try to make the best of my time wherever I go, and university has been such a great stepping stone for me to utilize all of my skills and just enjoy, but also gain invaluable experiences from my whole journey. So the reason I chose marketing was I had a similar pressure, and in high school, my parents are like, my son will become a doctor. Russell Peters classic, right? So I studied science throughout high school. I did biochemistry, all that good stuff. And I love studying bio. It's one of my favorite courses and one of my favorite fields I've studied. But it came to a point where I realized, do I want to grow up, and when I have a job, do I want to sit behind a counter and sell medicine, right, to people all day and get paid good bucks for it? Maybe not. That wasn't where my aspirations lied. And I know there's a lot of, you can go into research and whatnot, but to get into that capacity takes a lot of time, and it's a very uncertain path. Equally, I came into university and I applied into the MIB program with zero experience in business, never done anything pertaining to business courses or whatnot during high school. And it was that if I don't get into MIB, I'll get into co-op management. And if I don't get into co-op management, I'll get into regular management, because that's how UFT works. So I shot for the stars and I'm like, let's just aim for MIB. Let's see where it goes. Wasn't expecting it, but because of my outgoing nature and my love for trying everything, I got an interview back, and the interview went very well. It was with some people that I still am in great touch with, and they're amazing people in the co-op facility as well. So I had a great chat with them, and the interview felt more like a discussion. And that's what I say regarding interviews. Try to break some of that tension because obviously the person on the other side is
Yeah.
nervous, and you know that. So when you're the one being in the interview, just try to break some of that tension, make it more of a discussion, and it becomes more enjoyable. But I feel like I'm straying off. So the real answer to why I love marketing is because I love interacting with people. And that
Hmm.
has shown since I was a child. And I feel no shade to accounting or finance or any other side business as well. There are two core things of any business. One is marketing and the other is finance. One
Yeah.
deals with all the money and behind the desk type of stuff, and accounting, finance, operations, these are all one category. Whereas marketing is the category which is consumer facing.
Hmm.
And that consumer facing category is so important because without that, your business is nothing. If the people, the consumers don't perceive you to be of any value, your finances are useless.
Yeah.
So, what makes a business so great is yes, their finances, but what makes it really great is their marketing. Companies like Nike, where every kid across the globe, whether it's in Pakistan, in Africa, or any other country or continent, you'll find that people are aware of that Nike logo. And that is because of marketing. So if I feel that my interests and my consumer facing personality best align in marketing. And that's what I love doing. Consumer behavior, all the courses that I took, understanding the consumer, it all aligned with marketing perfectly.
Yeah, and that's definitely like finding like what your interest is instead of like I told my aunt, yeah, I'm gonna be accountant. She's like, why not a doctor? I was like, oh, I don't know. Like I just like the accounting, but yeah, I think finding the interest. And how would you say for like business students, like finding that stream, how would you find that interest? Just you stumble upon it or you just know?
During high school, I had a teacher who I liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And by liked, I mean that she was a pretty chill teacher, right? And she told me to take a look into business as well because she helped me a lot during high school, and she was sort of a mentor to me. And that's why I feel that such a small, insignificant role that you might think can help change someone's mind forever. And it
Mm-hmm.
certainly did mine. And that's why I'm so thankful to people who are willing to give me advice. And that's why it's so important to give others the same favor in return, right? So the reason why is I say that everyone should try everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at something and the you do a pros and cons list, and the worst thing that could come out of it is in the cons list is that it would make you uncomfortable. Why not
Yeah.
do it? Then you're the only person holding yourself back. And that is when the phrase comes, you're your own worst enemy. So try everything. And how to stumble upon it was obviously because of my teacher, but it was because I also had that curiosity to definitely stumble upon everything despite my parents putting pressure on me to only study one particular field in medicine. I went ahead and actually looked into all the programs. There was a point I was considering applying to the Royal Military College of Canada.
Oh
I was
wow.
this close to going there instead of university. It was crazy, right? I was 17 at that time, had no clue what to do with life. And I'm sure a lot of people in university are at that point as well. But try everything. If something has consequences, then you do a risk benefit analysis. Is the benefit greater, or is the risk worth taking for that amount of benefit? But if the only risk is you'll be shy or you'll feel out of place,
Yeah.
then you're holding yourself back. Do it. Go talk to people, go interact with people, go take opportunities, whatever comes your way. And it'll expose you to so many new experiences, and you learn through those experiences. And that's how I stumbled upon marketing. And I wouldn't suggest anyone to hold back, not just for marketing, but any opportunity that comes in your life.
Good tip even for me, right? Like just going out there, getting out of the comfort zone. It's just like I don't know, like you don't want to do that, but like you said, like it just comes leads to something better, right?
Yeah, just think to yourself, is
Yeah.
there anything aside from me being uncomfortable which is bad. If not, then 100% do it.
I think most people have a problem with that. They just hold themselves back, like they don't want to do it. It just scares them or whatever it is. So yeah. And about marketing, right? So what field of this like marketing is a really big concept, right? So
Yeah.
what area do you want to specialize in or like explore further?
Yeah. So people just think that marketing is like billboards. And
Yeah.
that's sort of
Like
like my pet peeve. They think that if you make billboards or you make posters, you're a marketer. Like
yeah.
I say, oh my God. Like as I said before, that business I personally feel has two major categories. One is the financial or behind the desk as one, and a lot of marketing is behind the desk as well. That's the thing. There's so
hmm
many things within marketing. There's market research, there's pricing and promotions, there's brand loyalty, there's graphic design, there's digital marketing, you name it, right? Could go on and on about all the
Yeah.
different types of marketing fields there are. I think the future lies in digital marketing. And
hmm
that is where I'm focusing all of my efforts on. I am currently with the U of T School of Continuing Studies, and I am becoming a certified digital marketing specialist with them. So I asked the question, how many of you have actually seen billboards? They're so outdated.
Yeah, that's true.
You can remember a single billboard advertisement with sticks, right? So the future is all sales through online channels, e-commerce. And you know, when you click on or go to a certain link, and for example, I was searching up Canada Goose jackets, not that I would ever buy them, they're too expensive for me, but I was just going through them. And then next thing I go on Instagram and I see their ads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mind blown, no way, FBI, CIA, right? So that's what we all think, but this is all digital marketing. It's understanding the consumer, understanding where they are in terms of the conversion funnel, right? Are you on the awareness phase, conversion phase? How motivated are you to buy that product? And then use online means to continuously make them make purchases. And this is how you get 20% discount codes in your email. This is how they follow up with surveys on
yeah.
after you buy a product. This is how you somehow see whatever you're craving. It's not a coincidence and it's not magic, but digital marketing does seem like magic in a way. And this is the future. Forget the future, it's pretty much now everywhere, right?
hmm
It is the way forward, and it is the way right now. So digital marketing is definitely my specialization, and hopefully soon, very soon, I'll be a specialist in that, certified from U of T as well.
Yeah, I remember also before marketing, I took a course. I thought it was like, oh, advertisement, billboard, newspaper, flyer. That's what I thought it was like before I even like in high school. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, not that hard, not that bad, nice and simple. And then now
yeah.
it's just it blown up. Like there's like so many different sections and
Mm-hmm.
areas.
Yep. And one more thing that I've noticed, and it's very unfortunate, is that the university isn't equipping us with skills which are in demand by today's employers, right?
hmm
Having a very theoretical understanding of marketing is not the same as having the actual skill set you'll need to succeed or be competitive in today's market. I
Yeah.
believe talk about this moving on as well. So I'll try to expand in there, but there's a lot of different marketing skills, and it's really important to stay up to date. And hopefully we'll expand on this.
So you completed a study semester abroad at the University of Mannheim. So what did you gain from this experience?
Oh, what did I gain from this
Yeah,
experience?
studying abroad, is it just really different? Anything?
Yeah, number one thing I gained from this was perspective. Absolutely different, right? This country is on a level of its own. You have Canada, then you have Europe, and then Germany in particular. So when I was interviewing for MIB, and this is over 4 years ago, I think it's what 5 years almost from today.
No.
When I was interviewing to get into the MIB program before university even began, they asked me, why did you want to do the MIB program if you get in? Why do you want to do it? And my answer was that there's a huge world, right? Our Earth is pretty big.
Yep.
And in this Earth, we have smaller worlds. For someone who's only lived their life in Canada, that is their world. That's all they know. That's
Mm-hmm.
the only type of people they've met. That's the only type of food they've eaten. Forget Canada because it actually has all types of food and all types of people.
Yeah.
But for example, if you're living in India or I'm living in Pakistan or anyone is living in their country, which
Mm-hmm.
isn't so multicultural or diverse or doesn't have a lot of experiences, right? Opportunities for experience. You're exposed to one mindset, you're exposed to one way of thinking, you're exposed to one way of life. And for you, you've never experienced anything outside of that. So that is your whole life, right? Whatever you see, whatever you touch, that is your world within the world. But
Yeah.
now, suppose you take that person and then drop them in Europe, or drop them in Africa, or drop them in North America, South America, or Australia, wherever you want to name it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their world will completely change.
Yeah.
Both different people, different food, different architecture. It's literally a whole different world. It's what's the difference between you being dropped off to a different planet and you being dropped off to a different continent if you haven't seen both of them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's a whole different world, and you are exposed to such different things, different perspectives. And tunnel vision is very dangerous because you only think a certain way, you only do things a certain way. And that's why exposure and tolerance is key to building yourself, your personality. Because exposing yourself to different ways of thinking makes you a more holistic person. It makes
Mm-hmm.
you a better person and it makes you more experienced. So one factor of this, I went in Germany with this mindset to gain a new perspective. And unfortunately, it was cut short because of COVID. They called us halfway. Trudeau's like, everybody better come back. And it was highlighted in red. And they said like, they were this close to sending a plane for all of us, right? So it was cut short, unfortunately, but I explored Prague. Thankfully, I explored a bit in Germany. I was planning to go to 15 different countries, but that didn't pan out to
Wow.
COVID.
15 different countries. But I definitely like the theory. It's like I heard it before too, right? Like you live in a box, your whole world is that box. You don't know
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
outside that box. You don't know there's stars, people. It's just there's an empty box.
Honestly. So try to jump box to box and learn those boxes because
Yeah.
now you're speaking from the perspective of 15 different boxes combined rather than the knowledge of one box. And that is what makes you a more knowledgeable and more experienced human being, right? So that Germany was a big stepping stone towards that. And I couldn't speak the language, had no clue what a lot of Mannheim is filled with Turkish population, so I had no clue
Mm-hmm.
what they were saying. But the food was wonderful, had a great time, and learned a lot from it. The dean, after his introduction, you'd never expect this in any university, maybe Western, but other than that, no university you'd expect the dean to say party hard after
Okay.
giving his intro speech. This guy's at the end says party hard, and it was like a drop mic moment, mic drop moment, sorry. They have on campus parties every week
On
where they have
campus parties.
lights, stage, DJs hosted by the university. Their culture is completely different and it's
Yeah.
wonderful. Now, for some people, that's not it, right?
Yeah.
I'm also very shy, I'd say, in a lot of cases such as this. Not the biggest party animal. I prefer chilling with friends in
Yeah.
house type of party where to each their own, But the thing is, you learn that your way is not the only way to do things. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's so eye opening. And that's why I recommend to anyone to not just travel, but even when you meet people from other places, they carry those experiences with them. Interact with people, be open minded, be tolerant. You don't have to agree with them because obviously everyone disagrees, but be
Mm-hmm.
tolerant, open minded, and extract the good and keep away the bad. You'll become a better person. You'll become not a better person, a more knowledgeable person, to say the least.
Yeah, nice bigger perspective. I would have never thought they said party hard on campus, but I guess partying on campus avoids maybe some other problems. Keeping that open mind and then learning, you understand different points of view, tunnel vision. I guess that's really important. And do you have tips in general how to go abroad to study, or is there any certain process or anything like that?
So as part of the MIB program, it's sort of mandatory. You don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
And you think about these things before joining the program. You're like, oh, I want to go get into MIB. And then later they're like, okay, you got to go abroad. You're like, I didn't know. So if you get into the MIB program, it's sort of guaranteed. As long as you don't fall really hard, you're pretty much going to go abroad for a work term and a study term. Aside from that, there are clubs on campus. There's the International Students um, Department, I believe, something along those lines. I forget the exact name of it, but Center of International Experience, CIE, I think it was, right? They have opportunities for going abroad. That's what MIB students apply for or apply through for going abroad, but it's open to everyone. So I've had other co-op friends who weren't part of MIB also go abroad to the Center of International Experience. If anyone wants to reach out to me, I can definitely get the exact name and send it to them. But there are clubs, there are resources on campus, and there's a wonderful co-op office who are dedicated to help you find any of these resources if need be. So you don't just need to be an MIB, there's a lot of other resources if you want to go abroad as well.
You talked about a lot of extra stuff, right? And we know you've been quite involved with extracurriculars and like additional online courses like a student at UTSC. So how have those experiences helped you at your current job at Samsung?
Any experience you gain never ever goes to waste, except it's really useless. Even then, it'll come handy one way or another. Any information you read, anything you see, it comes back one way or another, right? Your brain is amazing. It can hold so much. Try to make the most of it. Don't sleep all day. Don't waste your time. Use it. And I did a lot of things on campus, and I did a lot of co-curriculars, PSA, DECA, so many sports, cricket, and during high school I did cricket, soccer, rugby, wrestling,
Wow.
and a few others. So the reason is because if you know me, you know, as I mentioned before, is I like to try everything. There's not a single thing which I won't try out of fear, because then you are your worst enemy. So try whatever you can, learn whatever you can. And the reason I did a lot of courses was actually when I was a co-op, it's Samsung U has a portal in which you can do free learning. So when I would have time, instead of wasting it or playing Call of Duty, which I do like to waste time doing, I'd just start learning courses, right? It's for free. Why not make use of a resource? Similarly, any other thing, you have the opportunity, it's a sport and you want to try it, do it. If it's a club you want to join, do it. And I'm sure you could yourself testify that definitely joining a club does give you an edge. When people hire you, they ask you about your experiences during clubs. And it is so important for, especially for your first co-op and those seeking for their first time, to have some sort of experiences which can testify or at least show that they're willing to learn. Just writing on your resume as skills, a summary of qualifications, detail-oriented. Okay, but what have you done to show you're detail-oriented? Right? If you say time management, what have you done? So joining clubs, getting these experiences are a big, big help towards your first co-op. But the reason I do it is to learn. As cliche as it may sound, I consider myself a lifelong student, and I want to do my master's hopefully. And I just graduated a while back, so hopefully next year I'm looking into my prospects for master's, then maybe a PhD. And even then, I never want to stop learning. I took all the courses in university and my higher CD level courses actually for learning, not just for wasting time. I could barely get through an accounting class, as sad as it is, but do your courses. You pay so much, learn from them. Actually do it for the sake of learning. I loved econ throughout university, although I'm not going into it, no reason to study it, but the only reason I did was because, think about it, you have supply and demand, you make an X with your hands, and that's the whole economy on your arms. How cool is that, right? To think you can physically draw the whole economy on an X. Mind blowing. Time I read it, I was like, no way, supply meets demand. That's the equilibrium. Crazy. So the reason I do all of it is actually to learn. It once again enhances your knowledge. It makes you a more well-rounded, more knowledgeable person as a whole. But it's also great to whatever future experiences are coming your way. You never know what could be handy at what time. So the more you learn, the better you are, the more competitive you are, and the more opportunities at your doorstep.
Yeah, I remember you even talking about that when you told me to go about searching for co-op, like when you gave some tips, like talking about joining club, like you spend all this money on courses, you should also, yeah, and you have all these clubs available to you, right? And networking with these clubs, and like even joining TMG right now, it's like you know all these people, you know, clubs working with the team, you get all these skills that you can talk about, and that was something I used a lot during my co-op job seeking, which was really nice. So yeah, definitely spending time is learning all these things and joining.
Yeah, I mean, as part of the co-op program, I was paying what, $1,700 a course, and not to say which courses, but there were a lot of courses which I studied myself. Props were non-existent. Extra help was non-existent. I just felt like I paid 1,700 to study the book myself, right? And I'm pretty sure every student can relate to one or a few courses which were like this. So
Yeah.
think to yourself, why did you give $1,700? Why pay $1,700 if you're going to study something yourself? You could pay $100 or when it's on sale, $20 to Udemy and learn that stuff with a proper instructor who teaches things because he knows his income depends on it, right? So these people are dedicated. The reason why you pay so much to go to university and learn all these things is not just learning, but the connections you make. And networking is so important. It's so crucial, so imperative that you network and build connections and build friends, even, right? More importantly, friends.
Yeah.
The friends I made with clubs were some of my best friends, right? The people I've met, including the co op office, my external networking events, my ones at university, the sports I played with, all these people become family. So it's so important that you make use of this because you're not paying just for education, you're paying for the experience. And if you don't make use of that experience, you're not just wasting money, you're wasting your time and opportunity cost. Speaking in terms of that, you could have been doing so much more.
And speaking about all these experiences and stuff, do you have any other advice for students who are seeking co-op opportunities in marketing?
One of the best things you could do for yourself is have a portfolio at hand, right? Accounting and other fields, you don't need a portfolio, it's just experience based because
Yeah.
you work for a company, they know that you did accounting.
Yeah.
You can't really have a portfolio for finance or market for accounting. It's what you did, which is your portfolio, like you're working for a company. But marketing is not like that. And as I was mentioning before, the university unfortunately isn't doing a great job in equipping you with what is needed in today's day and age to become a successful marketer, especially in the job market. Depending on which co-op you're doing, first, second, or third, there's different advice. If you're doing your first, join clubs, especially marketing clubs, and try to gain experiences pertaining to marketing. Clubs are a great way to learn. There's not much pressure because it's not an employer. And it's a great way to build connections, which can teach you more stuff. Join clubs, join case competitions, because these can definitely go on your resume. You can, instead of a job experience, if you don't have it, you can put your case competition as an experience and list all the things you did. If you have the presentation handy, make it nice and then keep that as a portfolio. These are small techniques. If you don't have any proper work experience in a corporate environment, these things can still show the employer that you're somewhat competitive. So it's a great way to get your first co-op. For second and third co-ops, if you're a higher year student, then I'd say actually start building a professional portfolio for yourself, right? The university is going to teach you theoretical marketing, not so much practical marketing. There are some courses which are moving towards practical, which I really liked seeing that they're making an effort, like applied marketing models. And there are a few courses with Excel marketing as well, which are really handy. Market research is still more practical. pricing as well, but advertising. But these are theoretical mostly, right? There's so much more when you start working that you realize you haven't learned at all.
Mm-hmm.
So start doing certifications, start doing building a portfolio with these certifications. For example, a great way is to build a website. Now, people think building a website is what? You're building a website? No way, you have a website. It literally takes, here's a secret, it takes half an hour to make a generic website. And it's so easy. People think it's, oh my God, God knows how difficult it is.
Yeah.
I must be an IT genius.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's really,
exactly.
really simple for people like us with zero experience using tools like WordPress, Elementor. As a, you can build really good looking websites and try to build skills. So even if you weren't going to get that co-op, you could even do freelance. You can charge people upwards of $500 for building a website for them, and you don't. And you know, university is not going to teach you how to build a website. You
Mm-hmm.
can learn all this stuff on your own. I learned it on Udemy, paid $20, and now I know how to make websites. So you can charge people 500 for studying something which costs you $20. And then when you show the employer that you did this, wow, impressive. Learn search engine optimization, learn content marketing, learn campaign management, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are all skills which you can build towards. Forget university, forget your co-op. If you have these skills and actually build on these skills yourself, you can start a business yourself. Co-ops will be running after you, right? They see that stuff on a resume, they're going to be like, oh, we need you. Hey, then you
Yeah.
can even go into negotiating pays and whatnot. But do this stuff so even if you don't have that, you can do something for yourself. You make 3, 4 websites a month, you get paid more than a co-op, right? So this stuff is great for co-ops, especially second, third year. Second and third co-op. First co-op, just focus on getting a lot of good university experience, and if you can work on this, that's great as well. But I suggest first year just focus on integrating into university. That's what's
Mm-hmm.
really important first, and some of second year as well. Join clubs, make friends, get the experience, join sports, get into really integrated into uni. Then afterwards, start working on this because it's crucial. Build a portfolio for yourself, and that will be amazing for any co-op and your full-time work.
And yeah, I think that expands on like what we talked about earlier. School doesn't teach you everything,
Uh-huh.
right? You gotta go out, learn things yourself because school gives you like one skill set, but like you said, there's outside in the real world, there's way more things that you need to know, or it's just really different.
Exactly. University is great because when your friend becomes a doctor, you get a discount. When your friend becomes an accountant, you get a discount. When your friend becomes a finance dude, you get a discount whenever you need for whoever you need, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
all of your friends are eventually going to grow into the next CEOs, the next CMOs, the next CFOs, and the next directors, the next managers. So these are all going to be your friends. And you're going to be hopefully in a great position one day yourself too. So you're going to help others and others are going to help you. So this is what university is great for, to meet people who get into these qualified positions because they become friends, and that's amazing because now your network is filled with professional individuals in all sorts of wakes of life who are at very good positions. But
Mm-hmm.
you should also focus on yourself because yes, university is great for building these connections and teaching you a lot of theoretical stuff, but you have to aid yourself with a lot of practical experiences to get yourself to where you want to be.
Yeah, like you said, knowing everyone. For my first co-op, like the job I'm at right now is only here mainly because I went to these networking events and I met the manager here, right? I modded with the manager, we met talked to each other, and then when with the interview time came, we already knew each other, right? So it gave me like a relationship already and an edge. And I
Uh-huh.
enjoy and I learned more about the workplace. So I think like you said, making friends, networking with everyone, it's just like probably one of the biggest advantages you can have in co-op.
Yeah, that goes without saying. Definitely, definitely do it.
And these are things like exactly you told me the exact same things when I was searching, which is why it was so helpful. You said go to these networking events, go to these clubs, join these clubs, everything you said, and it just works out. And then everything worked out together. You put it together, and then
Oh yeah, that's why like the only reason I'm mentoring and still dedicating some part of my time is because I was in a place where I didn't know anyone in business. I came from a
hmm
fully medical background and I had no clue what I was doing with life. But things work out. I unfortunately learned a bit late, but the good thing was I was active since day one. I was
hmm
on campus everywhere. You'd see my face, right?
yeah.
As long as you have that going for you, and if not, try your best to have that going for you, but it's not too late. Make sure you make the most of whatever time you have on campus and make sure that you're learning and using this. And eventually, the goal is not co op, it's work, whether you want to do it for a company or start your own business, but to build the skill sets that any company wants you. And if you don't want to go to any company, you have the skills to sustain yourself.
hmm
Right? So that's why networking is so important. You can put two and two together from all these creative minds, and they love you, you love them. It's happy family.
and I've never seen anyone do as many things as you have. You do like a lot of clubs, activities. It's crazy. Even more than like one or two things. You have like five or six things.
Yeah, so I used to go to campus at 10 a.m. and I used to be, and this is every day, my daily routine, go to campus 9, 10 a.m. and then be back 10, 11 p.m.
hmm
So from one corner of the campus to the other, I try to spend my time as best as I can. And university was a blast because of it. I see people complaining, well, not during COVID because nobody has anything to do,
Yeah.
but pre-COVID, I would see people complain, oh my God, UFT sucks, there's nothing to do. Well, that's because you yourself want to take classes, go home, sleep, and then come back to take classes the next day. Obviously, UFT has nothing for you.
hmm
Join clubs, join sports. There's so many events that we hosted as a club. There's so many events you can go to other people's things, right? There's so
hmm
many activities happening on campus throughout. There's so much to do. You just got to do it yourself. Don't be lazy. Don't find other people to blame all your problems on, but make the most of your experience. And that's going to be by actively trying, stepping out of your comfort zone.
hmm Especially when campus are going along and be like, what did you say again? Step outside your comfort zone. I'll just sign up for random things. That's what I'll probably do now.
Oh,
I'll be like,
yeah,
oh, that's what you
let's go
said. You know
start
what?
talking.
Let's do it. Why not? On that note, where do you see yourself in the near future? And will you be doing something marketing?
Yeah, so my very short term goal, and hopefully, fingers crossed, within the next 2, 3 months,
hmm
my goal is to get a good position within Samsung, but in the marketing division itself. I was a co op for the marketing team, and then I switched over to get full time in the corporate affairs team. So it's
hmm
all business ops. Now I want to switch into the marketing team, but with full time. And hopefully, with the new year coming, there's going to be some shifts. So I'm really looking forward to having Samsung on my resume for the marketing team for full time, hopefully a year or two. And with that, I also want to do my master. So I'm also applying to the Schulich for the MMKG program. So that's a master's in marketing. So I want to do marketing masters. I want to get full time in the marketing division at Samsung, and then my goal is to eventually and hopefully go into starting my own business. And that there comes a point where it's like, okay, I've worked for other companies, but now I want to do something which is my baby, start it from scratch and build on it and then do something of my own. So that will probably start as a part time with a full time job because never drop everything to do one thing.
Yeah.
Always have a backup, right? Slowly progress into that. And one more thing that, upon the insistence of a good friend of mine, he told me to look into cloud. And by cloud, I mean like AWS, Amazon, Azure for Microsoft, and all the cloud services that different companies like IBM. are providing, because digital marketing, unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say, is becoming very, very saturated. There was a time back in the 2000s where digital marketing people were considered gods because it was such a niche, right? And barely anyone had the skill. And those people are at the highest positions today, those people who got in early at that time. But unfortunately, it goes both ways, because more competition in the market, but also for people like us who are trying to get into better and better positions, it's becoming more and more competitive to get into higher positions for digital marketing. It's becoming a more competitive and saturated market. But cloud, for companies like IBM, Microsoft, this is still it has a lot of potential. And this is where I see the future headed. So I'm going to try to pair my skills with marketing and knowledge of cloud and try to sort of combine both of these.
Like, I've never met someone who's done so many things on campus, learned so many things. So hopefully that goes well and you get started on that really, really soon.
I hope so too, man. Thank you for your good wishes.
Well, and thank you for being a guest on today's episode. Really nice for you to like come out, take your time, give so many tips. We were like, we definitely want you on this episode. Me and Steven, when we met you at the networking event, we're like, write his name down. I'm pretty sure he asked you that day as well.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. I remember. I remember he was like, he messaged me when you were talking. I looked at my phone. He's like, "Yo, I think we should ask this guy if he wants to come."
You see, you asked and nothing bad came of it. Suppose I said no, what's the worst that could happen? I wouldn't be on the show. That would be my loss. So you reached out, and it was a pleasure talking to you at that time, just like it is right now. And you see, you build a connection and you build a friend, right? So there's no harm in reaching out. I say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So at least get 80 of them, and 85.
At least get 80 of them.
Shots.
Yeah, right. And your tips have been really helpful, right? We knew right then, like, you're perfect for this. Like, listen, we want you on the show. So he's like, let's get him.
I appreciate that.
And then we told everyone, yeah, we definitely want Aman to come on the show, and we want him. And then like, okay, let's start him off 2022. We'll go big.
Now the pleasure is all mine. And to anyone listening to this, if you have any questions or concerns or just want tips, not even for uni, just in general, right? We've all been there, and obviously mental health is a big issue as well. So if you just need anyone to talk to in general, or want to discuss co-op opportunities, or want to discuss about university experiences, how to make it better, or whatever the case is, people have a lot of problems, people have a lot of solutions, and the only best way to connect those two is to talk about it, right? So if anyone wants to reach out to the TMG team, I'm sure they'll be willing to help, as will I. So I feel we'll probably be like, here, reach out to him on LinkedIn or whatever the case is. And definitely don't hesitate. If anyone ever wants to reach out to me, I'm more than willing to help in whatever capacity. Just like I hope that people in my company will be willing to help me. And the chain goes on, right? It's a chain of kindness. You have to help other people so other people can help you as well. That's how we all succeed together. So if anyone needs my help, always there to help.
Yeah, that's definitely really important. And just even TMG, even just DM anyone in the club, any clubs, anyone at university, everyone will definitely willing to help.
Yeah, with great positions come great responsibility.
So with that being said, that was it for today's episode. We're the Herd, and you're hearing us.